They swore rock gods never die. So why did the Prince of Darkness leave the stage in silence? Stay for 5 minutes and you'll see how one last song cracked open a marriage, a fandom, and a journalist's cool. You're not about to hear a dry play-by-play or another tired celebrity obituary. This is a wild ride that starts in a smoky London hotel room in 1979 and ends at a gothic funeral in July 2025, where cameras flashed so hard they made Piers Morgan lose his temper. Along the way, you'll learn how a broke, drunken, ex-Black Sabbath singer named Ozzy met Sharon Osbourne, daughter of a feared music manager, and turned one weekend of madness into a billion-dollar brand. You'll find out how biting a live bat on stage cost Ozzy $25,000 in rabies shots, but earned him more than $2 million worth of free press. You'll see how Parkinson's disease turned their mansion into a round-the-clock hospital ward, why Sharon convinced MTV to film their chaotic household, and how that single deal rewired reality television forever. You'll hear the hidden recording Ozzy made for his kids, kept sealed until the day he died, and discover why a single backstage whisper before his last show still keeps tour staff awake at night. Every twist opens a new question. Every answer leaves a scar. And by the end, you'll understand why legends are forged not by perfection, but by pain. London, autumn 1979. 31-year-old Ozzy Osbourne is slumped on a stained mattress in a budget hotel off Oxford Street, convinced his life is over. Black Sabbath has thrown him out for missing rehearsals, drinking cognac for breakfast, and sleeping through sound checks. The phone is cut off because he can't pay the bill, and he's been wearing the same leather pants for 4 days. At noon, the door slams open. In marches Sharon Osbourne, 26, red hair like a warning flare. Her father, Don Osbourne, is the kind of man who once threatened to throw a promoter off a balcony for underpaying a band, and Sharon has that same steel in her eyes. She doesn't ask, she tells. "I'm going to manage you," she says. Ozzy thinks it's a prank, but he's too hungover to argue, so he nods. She drags him to Ridge Farm Studio in Surrey, hires a skinny California guitar genius named Randy Rhoads, locks the door and says, "Right." For 3 straight days, Ozzy mutters half-formed melodies while Randy pulls riffs out of thin air. On the 4th morning, the speakers crack open with the opening line of "Crazy Train," and rock history swerves. By the time the album Blizzard of Oz drops in September 1980, Sharon has mortgaged her Porsche to fund the studio sessions, convinced that raw talent plus scandal equals gold. She's right. The record sells 4 million copies in the United States alone. Newspapers run stories about the former Sabbath singer who rose from the gutter. Fans tape handwritten "All Aboard" signs to their bedroom doors. Sharon books a 140-date world tour and quietly negotiates a cut of the t-shirt sales. Rare back then, genius in hindsight. One night in Des Moines, a teenager flings a live bat onto the stage. The poor creature is stunned by the lights, flaps once, then lies still. Ozzy, thinking it's a rubber toy, sinks his teeth into it, feels real flesh, and panics. The crowd screams. Security ushers him to a hospital, where nurses give him a rabies shot in the backside. The bill is $25 grand. The headlines in 24 countries are priceless. Sharon files the hospital receipt in a scrapbook labeled "Promo Expenses." Ozzy laughs so hard he nearly rips the stitches. Money pours in, but tragedy is never far behind. In March 1982, during a Florida tour stop, Randy Rhoads boards a small charter plane for a joyride. The pilot buzzes Ozzy's tour bus, misjudges a turn, and shears the wing on the roof. The plane cartwheels into a garage and explodes. Randy is dead at 25. Ozzy finds him only by his guitar case, melted into a black lump. Sharon sits beside Ozzy on the bus floor all night while he cries. The next day, she calls promoters, cancels 3 shows, then rebooks the rest of the tour with a replacement guitarist in less than 48 hours. She tells the press the best way to honor Randy is to keep playing. Ozzy agrees, but part of him never steps off that tarmac. As the 80s march on, addiction tightens its grip. In Brazil, Ozzy sets a hotel corridor on fire while grilling steaks on a tiny charcoal stove. In Memphis, police find him passed out on Beale Street wearing a floral dress he stole from Sharon's closet. In San Antonio, full of Jack Daniels and bad ideas, he relieves himself on a 200-year-old monument near the Alamo and gets banned from Texas for a decade. Sharon keeps bail money in her handbag like spare change. One night in August 1989, the madness peaks. Ozzy gulps a cocktail of vodka and tranquilizers, mistakes Sharon's plea for rehab as betrayal, and wraps his hands around her throat. Their children, Amy 6, Kelly 4, Jack 3, hide in a playroom while the police wrestle their father to the floor. A judge orders treatment. Sharon files no charges. For 90 days, Ozzy detoxes at a clinic in Los Angeles, nicknamed the Betty Ford of Metal. Sharon visits daily, reading him the kids' bedtime stories through a thick glass window. When he returns home, they renew their vows on a cliff in Maui. The minister has to repeat the lines because Ozzy keeps crying. Reality TV is about to make them even stranger. In 2001, MTV executives hunt for the next big thing after The Real World. Sharon pitches the Osbournes, promising chaos, caviar, and unfiltered language. Network bosses laugh until she shows them a notebook listing 14 income streams, ad spots, DVD box sets, soundtrack albums, rerun syndication, even dog toy licensing. Production begins in the Beverly Hills mansion locals nickname the Addams Family House. On premiere night, March 5, 2002, 8.6 million people watch Ozzy shuffle through his living room in slippers, muttering at the remote. Subtitles translate his mumbles. Overnight, he becomes America's favorite mumbling dad. Merchandise sales spike so fast that by season 2, Walmart stocks bat-shaped plushies with tiny removable heads. Sharon leverages the ratings into a $20 million paycheck and, more importantly, a percentage of the DVD sales. A back-end deal reality stars now fight for thanks to her. Kelly dyes her hair hot pink, signs a record contract, and lands a top 10 single with a cover of Madonna's Papa Don't Preach. Jack, battling drugs by age 16, checks into rehab on air, making teen addiction a dinner table topic worldwide. Amy, the eldest, rejects the cameras entirely and moves into a downtown loft, reminding everyone that fame will burn you if you let it. Life seems weirdly stable until the invisible enemy arrives. In January 2020, sitting on a sofa opposite Robin Roberts on Good Morning America, Ozzy whispers, "I've been diagnosed with PRKN2, a form of Parkinson's." Viewers see his hands shaking and shoulders stiff. The Michael J. Fox Foundation estimates 10 million people worldwide battle Parkinson's. Yet seeing the metal icon tremble on national TV hits harder than statistics ever could. Tours cancel. Interview requests triple. Fans flood social media with Nyakker Ozzy Strong, posting guitar covers and hospital wristband selfies. Post Malone donates a portion of his tour profits to Parkinson's research, crediting Ozzy for teaching me what stage presence means. Sharon rearranges their house into a tight routine of physio bands, pill trays, and speech exercises. She sleeps in 90-minute shifts, wakes to turn him so his joints don't lock, then sketches tour stage designs on a legal pad, refusing to quit. By early 2025, the disease has eaten weight off Ozzy's frame. 2 titanium rods support his spine. A black cane etched with skulls helps him balance. Still, he repeats one sentence. "I owe Birmingham a goodbye." Doctors warn that a full concert could trigger respiratory failure. Insurance companies refuse coverage unless a critical care ambulance parks backstage. Sharon signs anyway. Some debts you pay in sweat, not safety. Engineers design a throne that can rise, tilt, and pivot so Ozzy can appear mighty while resting. They hide oxygen feeds in the armrests and route the tubes through black velvet so fans never see. 80 production staff rehearse lighting cues for 3 weeks because Ozzy's tremor can throw off timing by split seconds. Ticket demand hits 2 million for 60,000 seats, an acceptance rate lower than Harvard. Rehearsals unfold at the NEC Arena. Tony Iommi drops by with a battered Gibson SG and plays the Iron Man riff until the walls shake. Slash stops in, offers to shred on Paranoid. Dave Grohl jokes he'll play drums if someone hands him earplugs. Every visitor records a selfie and posts it online, turning the rehearsal room into the hottest place on earth for rock gossip. Late one night, after everyone else leaves, Ozzy whispers a message into a pocket recorder. Apologies for missed recitals, jokes about shampoo commercials, private advice on love and loyalty. One copy for each child, one for Sharon. He seals the chips in envelopes marked, "Open when you miss me." Show day July 1st, 2025. Gates open at noon, heat index 34. Fans dressed as vampires, bats, and one daring soul in a full devil suit melt under the sun but refuse to leave the queue. Merch stands sell 100,000 farewell t-shirts before sunset. At exactly 9 p.m., the stadium plunges into darkness. A single white beam slices through smoke, and the steel throne rises from a trapdoor. Ozzy appears in a black velvet coat lined with silver crosses. The first chord of War Pigs rings out. 60,000 voices howl the chorus. Between songs, Sharon stands just off stage clutching a clipboard and a bottle of water, ready to rush in if his breathing falters. For 90 minutes, Ozzy fights his own body and wins, sort of. Notes crack, hands shake, but the passion roars. He ends with "Mama, I'm coming home," bows and whispers, "Thank you, good night forever." As the throne sinks, crew members swear they hear him sobbing into the mic. Ozzy's journey proves legends don't shine because they're flawless. They shine because they survive their flaws, share the bruises, and make noise loud enough to drown fear. He fell, he rose, he inspired, and he left a map of scars showing how to fight for love, family, and a voice that can still rattle the ceiling even when the body quits. When Sharon crumpled beside his coffin, the world finally saw the hidden cost of keeping a star burning. She wasn't the queen of darkness, she was the keeper of the light. Watch the video that just popped up. Trust me, you'll be glad you did.